it's the end of the year. Hi, Karen.
Hello, Stefan.
Hello. This is the last recording before we close for end of year downtime. Are you
Yes.
excited?
Yeah, it's actually my last day at work this year, so I'm really excited. Yes.
That's perfect. Yes, I think we all need a break, and it will be the time for some of us to meet our families. Maybe sometimes it will be stressful, but it's mostly also a time to calm down and to relax a little bit, right? And to reflect on what has happened during the year.
Yes.
And this is what I want to talk about today. Kind of how do we reflect? How do we like on a process, like a little process, you can go through to reflect, right? And then you will maybe want to take some decisions next year, or you have some decisions stacked. And we will also want to talk a little bit about what are three decision making methods you can use to take a decision. So when you start next year, you can look at the episode and say, oh yeah, perfect, that's what we want to do. That's how we can make
Sounds good.
decisions. All right. So Karen, tell me a little bit, how do you plan to spend the downtime?
I plan a lot of doing nothing, but also meeting friends that are just here over Christmas to reconnect with their families. So friends from school time, so it's always a good time to catch up with them. And I mean, it's December in Switzerland, so it's cold. The weather is not too friendly. You don't want to go outside. So for me, it's a lot of relaxing, maybe watching more movies than usual. Also, I like to draw over Christmas and in this period of vacation. I'm not good at it, but I like it. So that's something I like to do. Yes, and then I'm a big believer in New Year's resolutions and planning the new year. And yeah, that will definitely be a part as well.
So you said two things: doing nothing, reflecting on the year, and then the second part is New Year's resolution. Let's go to the first part first. How do you reflect on the year? Do you have a process, or do you just walk in nature and let it come to you? Do you visualize? What do you do?
I'm a little bit extreme in that, maybe. So I have not only a yearly plan, I have like a life plan. That's a rolling planning that I update on a perspective of 7 years. So when I reflect, I look back at what were my goals for this year. Are these still in line with my values, with the goals that I want to achieve in my life? Is there something I need to adjust? How happy am I with that? What do I need to fine tune for the coming year? And then I do the fine planning, let's say, for the year ahead, the new one.
Oh, so you have kind of a spreadsheet or a digital version, or are you doing everything in a paper
It was a
notebook?
OneNote notebook, and it's now an Obsidian notebook. But yeah, it's a digital version of it,
Okay.
password encoded, but
Okay.
it's still around. Yeah, it's I think now 12 years old. Yeah.
Wow, so it grew over time. So you could go back and say, in the last two to 3 years, I planned this, and this is what I achieved. Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite a structured process. We discussed this before this podcast. I have a lot of journals, and I just rearranged my basement to stack all the journals. And I said I'm a bit jealous about you writing so neat, because you can go back and see everything. I can also go back, but I feel it's a good thing to keep some of this and to read like about your former self, right?
Yeah.
What has your former self planned? And to really take a moment and to appreciate, this is what I've really accomplished. And if you have not accomplished something, maybe it was not important enough.
I
Maybe it
wouldn't
was
say that. I wouldn't say
okay.
that because I have some goals that I have not reached for 10 years. Like there was one major goal of like building a house. And in hindsight, it was just not the right timing and the right opportunities did not reach. I mean, we were at certain points very close to buying something or being shortlisted for having a ground to buy, but it somehow didn't end up until now. And now we're in a much better position because we could use this time to save more money. So the house is now better than the house that I would have had if I bought it 10 years ago.
So it's also about appreciating when there's not the right time for something, and maybe waiting it out, but still having it clear that it's your goal, right?
I think a big breakthrough for me was to accept that I cannot plan out my whole life like I did literally do. And to accept that, okay, no, there's a higher power that has control over it. It's not me. And to surrender to it and to accept that there's maybe a plan behind why some certain things didn't end up as I worked on them, as I planned them. But maybe it's not up to me. And that doesn't mean that I should give up on planning, but to be flexible around when to achieve what.
Yeah, why I said it is I said that sometimes it's maybe not important enough. It's maybe, at least for me, I experienced that I had some goals, but I didn't really pursue it during the year in a disciplined manner. And then I'm sometimes feeling it's maybe it was not the value I was chasing this year, or it was not the need I was having this year, right? So it was more like a wish than something really, really strict I want to go forward. And we need both, right? And I bought this book for you and for me, like this planner for 2026, right? And they have a lot like check-in exercises. I love the wheel where you have the areas of your life and you say like, oh, family is up, friends is up, and I don't know, work is maybe a little bit medium. Why? And then you go and you draw like a spider web where you are, and you can define these categories, right? You can say where I am. I like this, but now what I started to do is I'm starting to do a need check, and this is how it works: is you have like a few glasses, and below the glasses you have like words like love or impact I'm doing or fun adventure, right? So you start to do like, you draw the first line, you draw like, what is it currently at? And then you draw the second line above or below, where you think, this is where I think it should be. So you don't only look at your objectives, you look at your needs. So this is one aspect, right? And then I know, for example, for me, I want more adventure. And then I can plan my trip with Karen to Mexico and I can make it an adventure for me, right? So I can really look at my needs as well, not only my objectives, but also my needs as a compass.
That's nice.
And what I also realized is that some things in reflection need not a mental process, but time to settle down. Like, take a photo of your last vacation. How do you feel with it? Sit with this for a while. I think I also told you I'm going through my photos of the year and collecting them, right? I really plan a Sunday afternoon for this, with a tea, with no disruption, because I know emotions will come up. Positive emotions, negative emotions, and I will want to write them down and to act on them at some point. Like, this specific event made me feel so good, I need more of this. Or this is where I was lacking something. How can I get to something more, right? And this is, I guess this is actually something where you could really like influence. I also believe that we have a bigger power coming, but this bigger power doesn't expect you to sit back and do nothing.
Exactly, yeah.
But to try something out and to realize what you like and what you don't. Do you agree?
Nice.
Yeah, perfect. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share a process. For those of you who cannot see, I will explain it. And I'm going to put the layout here so everyone can read it. So this process is essentially about reflection. So we have 4 steps. The process is on a line. In the middle of the line, you have the now, 1. So you ask yourself, where do I stand now? And you can take your sheet, you can take your notebook, and you have your categories. You can take the spider webs. And this is really whatever suits you. You can also take pictures of yourself or your family and sit with yourself and say, where do I stand now? And then you will make some notes. You will make some observations about your emotions, about your mental state, about how your body reacts to it, right? And then you take a look back to the beginning of the process, which is the before, the number 2, where you say, what is the difference? How did I feel about this before? How did I think about this before? How did my body feel about this before, right? What was my environment I was in, right? So you really look at this number 2, where was I there? And then, importantly, you recognize number 3, from 2 to 3, you recognize the process. Meaning, for example, I want to learn how to publicly speak, or I'm looking at myself, how I publicly speak today, my keynotes I'm doing today, my presentations I'm doing today. What was it before? Before, maybe it was that I wanted to share too many information. I was nervous. I was talking too quickly. Then I went through the process. What was my process? I was observing myself. I collected feedback. I also had bad presentations, and I learned from them. Right. So I recognize and make it very into my conscious mind. And then when I have this, I'm looking at, if I want to change something into the future, what is it I want to change? What is it I still want to improve? What do I want to keep? What do I want to let go? So because I'm sharing this, because this helps also when I'm doing coachings, or when I'm in team meetings, or when I talk to colleagues, and I want to facilitate a reflection process, right? Because reflection is not only thinking about the past or the present, it's also about 3 and 4, thinking about how did I get here, and how do I want to continue, right? That's I don't know. Can you relate to this? Is anything missing from my observation?
Maybe make it more graphical. Can you tell an example and walk us through?
Yeah, I tried that with I already tried that with the presentation. But yeah, so for example, number 1, when I'm running project meetings and it's a very heated discussion. No, let's take another example. There's an email coming in, and
Let's say the example that you had before about you look through your
yes,
phone at
yeah,
the pictures
yeah,
and you see a picture of your last vacation.
yes.
What's the reflection process now?
So this is basically looking at the past, right? So maybe where do I stand now? For example, I had a fear of missing out in the past, and now I'm more like, okay, I'm going with the flow. If I'm going to a bar, I cannot maybe stay at home. If I'm staying at home, I I really can enjoy being at home, right? So I learned a bit more to be in the now. So what was my process from the past in the vacation of, like, let's look at a vacation 2 years ago. What was that? In the vacation 2 years ago, I was hurried. I wanted to get in as much as possible. I switched hotels every day, because I wanted to get around. I wanted to see something. So now I look at let's say the very previous vacation and the last one, and I'm realizing I could relax. I could have a night in, And then I was like, what was my process? My process really was experimenting. My process was going one step further. For example, when I didn't want to go out, I went out and I said, I'm going out until I don't like it. I don't force myself to stay 2 or 3 hours. And I made myself recognize that I'm not missing anything, because it's essentially a mind game. If you would say I'm missing something, it would imply that you know that what you have missed, right? But you're in the present, so you only exist in the present, so to speak. So the alternative reality is just in your mind. I don't know if I can make sense of this, right?
Yeah.
And then
Got it.
now, what I want to transfer to the future? What do I want to take with me? I want to stay. I want to take this being in the present. I want to keep that. But I want to challenge myself when I'm lazy. Do I need the laziness, or can I push myself to an adventure, maybe to do something little? But be flexible. What I want to also transfer is I want to be flexible, and I don't want to force myself to stay somewhere. And then it's getting like much, much, much easier.
Yeah, I like that. In your part 4, the transfer, it's really keeping you from this being lazy that you just said. So
Yes,
not
This one.
Just
Yeah.
resting and falling back to something, being too comfortable, but also thinking about, oh no, I want to preserve this state. So what do I have to do? If I like it, that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Someone is cooking at Fruchtliches Haus, right?
Apologies.
That's why the Thermomix is going. The kitchen machine. We have no partnership with Vorwerk, but if you want to send us a new Thermomix, please go ahead. Yeah, so this is the reflection process. This is the first part. What I said is like this is also very individual, right? But having this process in mind really helps me to walk through, to also look into for keeping me lazy or for using it as an excuse.
Yeah, from being too comfortable. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, take this process when you maybe have a few minutes during the break, during the Christmas break, and maybe write it down and take a specific example where you really have an emotion where you want to reflect on and maybe change something in the new year. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Right? Okay. So we're going to the new year, and we there will be habits. There will be how's it called in English when you do like the first January? When you have
Jerry?
January, when you have good intentions, you know?
New Year's. Yeah.
Yeah, New Year's resolutions, right? Do you do those? Do you like those or not?
I combine those basically with my goals. So if there's something in my goals that I want to do this year, then I know, okay, maybe I have to change some habits or create new ones. And then that's for me the New Year's resolution. I'm not the guy or the girl for saying, oh, let's quit smoking this year, let's no longer drink, let's no longer do this or that. Not like that.
So it's for you, it's aligned with your objectives, right?
Yes.
And
What about
then you
you?
just, yeah, I don't believe in these New Year's resolutions. It's more like it's an external motivation. It's I'm doing it all year long if I want to try something new, right?
Yeah.
It's the atomic habit thing, starting something small, changing something small, and also for me, I mean, one thing I would give to anyone who would ask me for advice on New Year's resolutions would be find something which you want to go toward to, not away from. And the classical example is I want to lose weight, or I want to go to the gym more. That's the actions, right? But what is it, the emotion, like, do you want to feel, you will want to feel more fit, more vital, because you want to be available for your kids or for yourself, or you want to, like find this. And I almost believe if you spend more time than like painting that picture, in your head and be really clear what it looks like, and maybe have one or two actions like I want to cook more healthy. What does it mean? I want to use more vegetables. Then you're a bit more set up to success.
Yeah, definitely. You just reminded me that in January, February, there will be a lot more people in the gym. But it dies down quickly as well. So
Yeah. It's what they make. It's why they make the money, right? Yeah.
yes.
All right. I suggest that we cut it here because it was a good topic episode, and we start with the next topic in the next episode, Karen. Also for our listeners, so we have a good bundle. Right. So thanks for your input on the reflection, and let's talk soon.
That's the end of our episode. If you liked this, please like, share, and subscribe.